Hey guys, this is Jason from Jason and Joni Builds. We're back on the Bronco project today. Before we get started, y'all hit that like button and subscribe. And today we're going to be doing sandblasting and getting it prepped for primer. So you guys stay tuned. Alright guys, like a lot of you, when you get to this point of the project, it starts getting exciting because you know that you've done a lot of the work, welding and grinding, and so now we get to start making things look better and kind of finish up doing some of these fine details. So this is an important part, getting the sandblasting done and just getting the frame cleaned up. So what we've got our tub. You guys remember most of it was new steel except for the firewall, top of the cowl, and the inner fenders. So we're going to get that sandblasted today. We're going to sandblast the entire frame because the frame's in good shape. It's just got a lot of surface rust on it. We're going to build our housings, our rear end, front end housing. So I want to go ahead and prep those, make them real pretty too. Frame, rear end housings. I've got several parts, like front end parts, the front radius arms, pieces like that you know, two are 50 years old, 50, 60 years old, and they need to be cleaned up and sandblasted too. I've got all that laid out in there. So let me show you what I rented. Let me show you what you'll need if you plan to do this yourself. Because I'll go ahead and tell you, don't try to do it with your home air compressor. You'll be buying another one. It'll burn it up. These pressure pots, blast pots, take a lot of air and they consume it, and there's no way a household air compressor will keep up. So let me show you what we got. First, I bought this pressure pot years ago. It's called the Blast Master. I think the guy's out of Texas, if I remember right. It's a great product. You know, this isn't sponsored, guys, but I've used this thing. This thing does really good, and let me tell you, it will warp the pee out of your quarter panels and steel, any really flat surface. So if you're going to do this, be really careful. Use a really fine sand. You can get a fine sand, a medium, and a coarse. The medium's about as heavy as you want to go working on these cars, and I'm telling you, I really messed up a Mustang. I was restoring when I got it too hot, sandblasting it. So that's where soda blasters and these dustless blasting companies are much better. So anyways, the Solaire 185 works perfect. It'll keep up with the pressure pot. And we got 15 bags of sand. So we'll talk about cost real quick. What this cost me, it was $200 for the weekend. So you guys that are going to be using it at home, most of your rental places, if you rent it on Friday, they allow you 8 hours, but you can keep it the whole weekend. And I'm not going to be sandblasting 8 hours straight. So I'll do some today, some tomorrow. So it's really a good deal. Go ahead and rent it on Friday, turn it in Monday, and they only charge you 1 day. So that's $200. The sand, I got 15 bags of sand. That cost me $100. And paint, when we get into that, I'll show you how I prep the steel after we blast it, because you have to prep the surface and then you paint it, prime it. So I'll show you all that. But this weekend right now is going to cost me about $500 or $600. But we'll be well on the way to getting a lot of this stuff that needs to be done finished. So lastly, clothing. If you're going to be blasting, I got a little hood that came with my blast pot. Make sure if you don't have replacement lenses, cut you some. I went and bought some plexiglass, some real thin plexiglass, and made me 4 extras, because about halfway through this, or quarter of the way through it, I'm gonna have to start replacing these lenses because they'll get where you can't see out of them, just the sand bouncing back and actually blasting your lens. But get you some long sleeve shirt. I'm gonna change into that, and make sure it's about 100 degrees outside before you start, because you really want to suffer through it like I'm going to. So anyways, we're gonna get started, see if this thing will work, and we try not to bore you guys too much, follow me around the whole time, but we'll show you some good before and after. So we're gonna get started blasting this thing. I've been prepping enough. Hey guys, I want to tell you real quick with your sand, make sure you get blasting sand. Sand from your local home improvement store isn't dry like you need it to be. This sand's got to be really dry to feed through your pot. So you start putting wet sand in there, it just bridges inside of it, and you have to sit there and shake it the whole time. This is the proper sand, and I still have to shake it every once in a while, but it gets even worse if you try to use different sand or wet sand. Anyways, just want to tell you that. Hey guys, I got ahead of myself a minute ago. I want to talk about you need to wear a respirator when you're sandblasting, because as you're sandblasting, the sand hitting the steel and all, it's atomizing, and the silica in the sand can actually give you really bad lung problems and all that kind of stuff. So I didn't even think about that. You know, I always wear it, but as soon as I put it on, I start blasting like I'm supposed to have my respirator on. So get you this is a good 3M respirator, like a painter's respirator. And just protect yourself. All right. Hey guys, it's morning. I didn't get done till dark last night. I went ahead and blasted the grill and my dash, the front and rear end housings. I got those blasted, radius arms, and somewhat of my rear backing plates for the rear end. I ended up having to go buy 10 more bags of sand, so I bought 15 initially. I ended up using 25 bags of sand total. And then I also got the tub on the Bronco sandblasted too. You know, the firewall, the front inner fenders, and all the stuff that was original. But I had that in my other garage right now, so I could get this stuff cleaned up and painted. Then we'll pull the body back in here and prime those spots too. All right guys, I just got done cleaning everything after I sandblasted the frame, radius arms, housings, the front grille and the dash. I went ahead and got that done while I had the sandblaster. And my bumpers were, you know, new, but I went ahead and sanded those down real good so I can go and get some primer on them, because they're starting to get a little bit of flash rust. So just want to kind of take care of that stuff. Anyways, this is where we're at, and it's been a long weekend. I have worked my tail off, but I need to get it protected before all this work is for nothing. Wiped everything down with like an auto coat, aqua clean, and then when I get done with that, I'll rinse it off, and then what I like to do is wipe everything down with lacquer thinner. That may not be what everybody else likes to do. It's just something I do. What I have is a 5-star primer filler sealer. It's for direct to metal. This is a 2K, so I don't have to worry about moisture getting to it. Here we are the next day. Just wanted to show you guys what I got accomplished yesterday evening. I didn't do any video when I was done. I was a little tired. Anyways, got all my backing plates, radius arms, bumpers. They're primed on the outside. I'll turn them over and prime them again today. But anyways, I was getting some flash rusting, you know, because they ship you these things bare metal, so I just wanted to go ahead and get them protected. I've got my grill, which is, I'm still debating on whether I'm going to use it or not. It is the original 66 grill, but as you can see, this corner's been beat up. Apparently they hit something. I blasted all the Bondo out. So I'm not going to give up on it yet. I'll take a look at it and see what we've got. But anyways, it was blasted to bare metal and cleaned. The frame looks great. You know, just a real, very shallow pitting, you know, on it, which I don't know if it's coming out on the camera or not. Anyways, I can sand that out and prime it again. But now we can go ahead and get this thing on the ground, get the body in here. We can make the body up next week. And my roll cage is coming in, be here tomorrow. That way we can go ahead and test fit the roll cage, and I'm gonna see about tying the roll cage to my frame. So before I paint all this black, I may have to do just a little bit more welding, but at least the hard part's done. Went ahead and did the dash. While I had the sandblaster, there's some holes I gotta fill. And of course somebody butchered. So somebody butchered it, putting a radio in it. These 2 holes I don't believe are original. You can tell this one's all hacked up. This one doesn't look original. It might be. So it's stuff like that I need to get fixed. But again, this was a big deal. This was a hard deal. This was a lot of work. We'll be back in a second with the body. All right, guys, here's day 3 of the sandblasting. I don't know if you guys remember what the firewall looked like, but it looked pretty rough. But you would think it was rust, but it was mainly just undercoat and all kinds of just old paints and stuff like that. I just want to get the metal lock on there, get it protected, and then that way I can sort of spot sand and grind the areas and not have to worry about having all this bare metal sitting out in the elements. But this was really all I had to sandblast on the body. You know, everything else is new. And of course I went underneath, and you can see some of the shininess. That's just where I took my little DA and kind of hit some spots that had a lot of that old seam sealer. All right, guys, we've got to the end here. Finally got the primer on the body, the wheel tubs, underneath the dash, and the firewall. So everything's protected. You know, it's not this way. Now I can sort of spot sand and work on these areas now that everything's sandblasted. So no, this isn't the final coat of primer, but this is the protective coat that I put on it so I don't have all flash rust after sandblasting. So I'll let Johnny show you guys how it looks, and it's really starting to look like a new Bronco. All right, there's a few spots I still have to address. Little thises and that's all over still, but we're getting much closer. So I don't know if you guys could see all that, how bad it looked before, but you know, all this still needs seam seal, and that we're protected and we're ground, so now I can start making things pretty, do my final grinding and sanding, and then final prime. So this is just another stage. Big step this weekend. This took me all weekend long. I'm not gonna lie. And so I'm tired, and I'm sorry the video's kind of jumpy and there's not a whole lot of action, but I don't feel like you guys want to see me sit there and sandblast in one spot forever. Or take a 4-inch grinder to the knee.
Oh, you want to show them your boo-boo?
Nah.
Oh, it's gross.
So, anyways, be careful with your grinders. It bounced off of this, bounced off that, and it flew out of my hand into my knee. So, good times. So, anyways, thank you guys for watching. And roll cage will be here tomorrow. I can't wait to show you guys. It's going to be really nice. So we'll look at that in the next video. So you guys subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and we'll see you next time. Y'all take care.